Hi, I'm Mrs. Speakman and I'm Head of Languages at Knutsford Academy. I put this presentation together to explain all about our new GCSE 2024 specifications for French and Spanish for students and parents. Firstly, a few important points to note about the new GCSE specification. So it's a new specification which has been reworked in order to make it more accessible and to help students to enjoy their language learning experience even more. This means that students sitting GCSE French and Spanish in 2026 and beyond will be sitting a different style exam to those before them. This means that their GCSE Languages experience will be different to any older siblings and friends who've taken a language in the past. GCSE Languages are tiered qualifications, and this means that students will either sit a higher paper covering grades 4 to 9 or a foundation paper covering grades 1 to 5. All papers are sat at the same tier and there will be no mix and match option for these. Whilst you're studying French or Spanish with us, you'll be learning how to write and speak and understand language around 6 thematic contexts. My personal world, lifestyle and well-being, my neighbourhood, media and technology, studying and my future, travel and tourism. So within these thematic contexts, you'll be able to talk about a variety of subjects, and you can see on the screen sort of the sub-topics within those contexts. And lots of them quite familiar to you, but we go into much more depth at GCSE. So the next thing you'll want to know is how you'll be examined with the new GCSE that starts in September. The papers follow the 4 skills structure that you're already used to, with assessments in speaking, listening, reading and writing. We'll go into a little more detail about each one now. So paper 1 is the speaking, and that'll be worth 25% of your overall grade. And you'll have a short read aloud task to do, a role play and a picture description with a follow-on conversation. And there are some things that would be useful for you to know about that. You get some preparation time before your speaking exam in a silent room with an invigilator. The last minute of this time is for when you are in the exam room with your teacher / examiner. In this minute you can practice the read aloud if you'd like to. You can read it all the way through, practice a few of the words that are the most challenging, or just carry on preparing in silence. It's up to you. For the role play tasks, these are all going to be set in real life situations like buying things, going to the doctors, booking hotels, etc. So they should be useful to you in the wider world beyond the exam. Finally, for the picture task and follow-on conversation, you'll be given a choice of thematic context a few weeks in advance of the examination, so you can be prepared and feel confident. Paper 2 will also be worth 25% of the final grade, and this is the listening paper. At the start of this paper, you get 5 minutes to go through and take a look at the questions and highlight or make notes as you wish. On this paper, you'll answer different question types like multiple choice and short open responses. There's also a dictation task where you will listen to an extract and write down what you hear, either as a gap fill or full sentences. You'll listen to each extract 3 times so that you can listen, respond and finally check, and these extracts will be spoken at a moderate pace with gaps built in to give you time to think and answer. There'll also be a couple of minutes at the very end of the paper if you wish to check anything over. Paper 3 is the reading, and that's worth another quarter of the GCSE. There are similar question types to the listening and also a translation into English. To support you, where the question is about a cultural topic you might not have heard of, there will be a supporting picture to help you. Proper nouns like place names will be explained with an asterisk too, so you're only going to be tested on your actual language knowledge. Before we move on to the writing paper, there are a few things to let you know which will apply to both listening and reading papers. Firstly, the same question types will be in the same place in the paper for the same number of marks every year. For example, if question 1 is a multiple choice question in the sample papers from Edexcel, then it will always be so in their exams. This means that you'll know how the papers will look and they'll be really familiar, and you'll be familiar with the expectations too. All instructions from September will be in English, so you'll always know exactly what's expected from the question. The reading and listening extracts have also now been broken down into much shorter chunks. This makes them more manageable for you and is less of a strain on your working memory. Finally, the papers will only use a set list of names, so you're not going to be confused by a French or Spanish name you've never seen before and have to try and work out what that means. The last paper is the writing paper, again worth 25% of the final grade. In the foundation paper, you will complete a picture description. This is in the foundation paper only, a 40 to 50 word task and an 80 to 90 word task. In the higher, it's an 80 to 90 word task and a 150 word task. You get 2 choices, each of the longer response question, and you can pick the one that you're more confident with. For the translation part, foundation candidates will get 5 sentences and higher will get a short paragraph. It's important to note that if you wish to use gender neutral language, such as different pronouns or adjective agreement, this is fine. And edX will have more guidance on this, which we can share with you. You will receive equal credit as you would have done had you used masculine or feminine forms. I hope that this presentation has covered everything that you need to know about the new Languages GCSE spec, but if not, there's plenty more on the Pearson EdXL website that will support you, or please do talk to your class teacher about more information ahead of starting your GCSE in French or Spanish with us in September.